Good evening, everybody. Welcome to today's session. The aim of this session is to align ourselves to see what the price is printing and how we are going to align ourselves. Now, before I go to the market time frame, I want us to see so far what the price has done. The price is making a lower low, and this, for me, looks like a wave one and a wave two, and this is a 3-1 with this which ended like 5-wave structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And this looks like a correction of the first wave to the upside, correcting this 3-1. So this might be 3-3 in the making. So where we might see this as ABC to finish this. This may finish this as a O correction, and the price may break low. Now, at what point are we going to say that this particular wave or print coming to the downside is not part of this correction? So once it extends beyond 161.8 of this immediate correction here, once this move break low and extends beyond 161.8, then you will know that it's not part of correction, it's a new move. Because on the 4-hour time frame, it may still be ABC of A, and this may still go to be a B, and we might still have a C to the upside before we come down to complete these waves. Now, this wave that is coming down, what is it likely going to be in terms of a deep correction? Is it going to be a double zigzag or a zigzag? If it's going to be a zigzag, this will correct at the first 5 wave, and we're going to have an ABC correction correcting the first 5 wave to the upside as an ABC, as a B, and we're going to have another run to the downside. Or is it that we're just going to have this correction as a single 5 wave to the downside? We are going to see all that possibility. Now, remember when we had this here, and after this move, that we thought it was a wave 3-1, and we thought this was a wave 3-2, and that this gave us a triangle. And before we had this, and like I said, what has been the ill of this is that this is seen as an A, B, a C, a D, and a E, and we move forward, and we broke above. Now, imagine that we had a 5-wave correction like that, in between here, and we're going to see the same thing on the larger time frame. Let's imagine that we have A, B, C, D, and an E. So let me go to the larger time frame for you to see what I'm trying to say. If I go to the weekly time frame, going into a weekly time frame, so we may begin to see that this may be A, B, C, D, and this coming to the downside, because everything is corrective really, and this thing coming to the downside might just be an E to now make a wave 2. If it's going to be an E to make a wave 2, now this might just be the last wave to the downside before we break up. So we are going to wait, because what we are expecting at least a wave 2. If this is not a 3, an ABC, a 3, ABC of a 4 to say this is a 5, and that we are coming down to finish this. This does not look like a 5. There are things I want us to see, because in a corrective pattern, even if it's going to be like a wedge or a triangle or whatever, the first move can be impulsive, like a 5 wave, And the correction, of course, will be a correction. You know, in a triangle, it can be anything. The first move can be like a five-wave structure, the corrective pattern, another five-wave structure. But what is working against this being, you know, there was a time because you have to look at structure, you have to look at what is possible and what we're likely going to see. There's no doubt about the fact that these had gone up as five waves to this point. We saw that one is clear. 1, 2, a 2, and a 3, 4, and a 5 to finish to the 5. So where it has been tricky for us is to see the entire run here, A, B, C as the fourth wave, and this as the fifth wave, to say, okay, we have completed this run and we are doing a 2 to the downside, probably in a double zigzag or whatever. Now, if we are going to say that this is ABC of a 4 and this is 5, this should have run in 5 waves, but this didn't run in 5 waves. This is basically a 3-wave structure, even on this time frame, 1, 2, and a 3. So if these are done a 5-wave structure, that I've said, we would have a 4 and a 5, and after that, we are going to push down to correct the entire structure as a wave 2. So it kind of being suspicious, giving me is suspicious. Their move is suspicious. This might just be an E to the downside. And of course, if it's E to the downside and the last E to the downside, the last, of course, we expect it to be 5-wave. So which is still working, you know, as per what we think as A, B, C, D, and E. So this might just be A, B, C, D, and E. So, and this does not look at 5 waves to have finished this wave to the upside. And like I said again, the RSI, of course, then supports that, okay, it's the end. So we might still be pushing up after correcting 5-wave structure here. But the extent this one is going to go is another thing entirely. So we can see week per week, 2 weeks in a row, it's been seller's pressure. 2 weeks in a row, it's been seller's pressure. So if you go to the daily time frame, and let's look at that again on the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, we can see this looks like probably, yes, a 3-wave, a 5-wave or a 3-wave structure, where this one ran like a 5-wave to the downside here. We have this B wave in the middle, another 5 waves here. So this one's ran like a zigzag to this point. So this is like a 5-wave structure or a zigzag to this point, like an A. And this one going up really went up so collectively, like a wedge, the way it was going on, building up gradually to give us this. So the first part, more or less like a zigzag. The second correction is like just a correction, a flat combination of flats correction to the upside. And this one that we did last, also, it's a 5-wave structure. So our A and our C, they are 5-wave structure. And so the one in the middle, which is like a D to us now, is a 3-wave structure. The first part of it, of course, was 5-wave, which we saw clearly. And we have a triangle here. And this one just went up, which is the last part as an impulse. So the way it looked like A, B, and a C, just 3 waves. This one, of course, clearly is 5 waves, clearly 5 waves, a corrective wave. But this, if this one had given me like a 5-wave structure to the upside, I would have said, okay, now it's A, B, C of 4, and it's 5. So this is, looking at the structure, it doesn't look like it's the end, because this cannot end a structure before we begin to come down. So the structure here is still telling me that we are still going up, but now we are correcting. So this might just be an E to the downside. So this E to the downside, to what extent can it go? It's another thing entirely. It depends on how this one is building up. But there are levels that we're going to be watching. If it's going to break, probably if it's giving a B, it's going to be a zigzag. It could be a zigzag, and to project more deeply to break the low. So I'm expecting that it might break this low and even break this low here. So if that happens and it broke all those low, then by the time we now retrace this to the downside, they are just giving us a 50 retracement of the entire run to properly form a wave 2 or a wave B before we begin to go to the upside. So we need to see how this is going to go. So let me bring my drawing out. Let me go to the weekly. Okay, let me just stay on the daily and bring out my drawing for us to see. So looking at the drawing now, looking at this drawing, so this is where we what we saw here, an A, B, C, D, E. So we might be seeing an A. In this case, the floor is fixed, but the slanting or is sloping before it broke out. So if that is going to be the case as A, B, C, D, E, so we're going to be watching around this area if it's going to break it. E may be rejected here. We're going to watch closely if it's going to, the kind of reaction we are going to have here, because either two, everything has played within these channels, of this flag. It has played within this channel of this flag. So we must look at all these possibilities when we are trading, because this to me is not 5 waves. And of course, it has not ended. It didn't give us 5 waves to say this is wave 5. So because it's not wave 5, and that's why it's been difficult to see this as a 4. This one has corrected beyond what a 4 to this entire run can be. It has corrected beyond what a 4 can be. So it's a 3 wave, which can now be a D, and we're now seeing a E and E to the downside. And at what point it's going to react, I don't know. So, but we are going to watch here. But what I can project is that projecting, if we're going to see these move from here to this point, the most it can give us probably is a 1, 2, 3 extension, which from this base here of A to the height of D, a 1, 2, 3 extension probably will get here, and a 161.8 will get here. This is 76, and this is 85. Of course, this is 90. So we don't expect price, if it's going to be a 2, to break this last black line here to be a 2 or a B. So, but the wave that is coming down, though, is also corrective and is not sharp. We're going to be watching this and see how we're going to negotiate. So this looks like an A, B, C, D, and an E in the making. So if I go to the 4-hour time frame, going to the 4-hour time frame now, we can still see clearly that when we traded this A, this is like the A part of it, 1, 2, a 3, A, B, C, and this part gave us something like a 3, a 4, and a 5, and we went up collectively like this. So we thought it was going to continue to go up, and it didn't go up. Then we had another 5 waves to the downside. And before this, that went up as 5 waves, and we thought it was 2, but everything changed here, because if it was going to be a 3 here, we needed a 4 and a 5. So sorry for the break in transmission. So I'm going to conclude. My network failed. So now, having said that, we are going to watch the way it's going to. So if it's going to be a 5-way structure straight, it might just get here, react as E, and begin to go up. The fact that it will break this, because if it bounces up from here and begin to go up, many people might not really understand why it has to be like that. So you might think, oh, they have played a fast one and few, and that this one can this one be 1 and this one be a 2, then you now get it wrong. So this one can only be an E now. So it's divided into A, B, C, D, and this might just be an E. So this E can be a zigzag or can just be a simple 5 waves. So if it's a simple 5 waves, you should understand that it can be a simple 5 waves, and that will be the end of it, and it begin to go up as an E. So, but if they now want to now make it a zigzag, so we can now have a 5 wave, then have a deep correction of a B and the last leg, and after that double zigzag. So once you do that swing, then you must be looking for a bullish move. It may have probably broke below A, so which is not impossible, So, but now let's measure here. To me, again, the possibility of this one being a 2 to these is fast eroding. Seeing where Euro USD is now, this is 85 and this is 90 of this entire run. So the possibility it's fast eroding. So what I can see here, with this move here, what I can see here, what happened? Did I change something? Yeah. So what I can see here now is that the reaction here, this may just be an A and this may just be a B, and we might just have another thrust to the upside, and we might be looking for a sell. So for now, this is like a 1. Okay, let me just go to where I'd finished so that I won't be wasting my time. So now this may now be a 1 and a 2, and that this A, B, C, D might just be a 2 of 3, 1 now. So we're inside of a 3 now. So it might just be 1, 2, and we're going to see 3 of 3. And where this one can be a 2 to this, of course, we need to see price breakdown first before we begin to entertain that. But the way this had closed, before our candle had closed, may suggest that price may correct a little more to the upside, breaking this trend line to the upside, and we may be looking for a buy. Once that happens, we may be looking for a sell. Once we correct this might just be A, B, and a C, and we are breaking down. So once that happens, we are going to break this low here of 1, 3, 1, and to continue, probably will break this as well. So before, we are thinking that at 100 will be here, and we are going to continue to move up. But the way it is now, this structure shows us that the price may be going furthermore low, and that is what I can see. That's what I can see here for. So we need to pay attention to what is happening here. So what I see is a correction and a bit of downside for now. And if it changes, then we would apply ourselves. Everything is just in the middle, 50-50. So once we break, then we can now begin to see, okay, where are we going to have a major 3, before we have a 4, before we finish, that. So we are still in the middle of this, the third leg in the making, the leg 3 in the making. So this is just part of it, leg 3. So this is just the second, part of it. So which is not done. So we might just, if we have a break to the upside, it will give us an opportunity to sell. But can a break to the upside here go as far as reaching here? I don't think so, based on what we see here. If I go inside of a 1 hour, I'm going to finish now. If I go inside of a 1 hour, if I go inside of a 1 hour, So the correction so far that we can see here is a 90. So if this is a 90, we should be looking for, if this one breaks to the upside, we should be looking for at least a 61.8 before we come down. If it's a 90, so which now means that a 61.8 of that move, of this entire move, of this run from here, a 61.8. So anything in between here might just be where we're going to pick a sell. So we need to see how this is going to go up. And if it's going to be a C, and this one is now the whole of this, if it's going to be a B, like I said, this is ABC of A. And if this is going to be a C, so we're going to see how this one is going to run 5 waves at least to give us a C and to end its structure. So it's not impossible that it gives us a C. And if that is going to happen, so we are going to be, I'm not saying that that is what is going to happen now, but we need to break the structure to the upside first. So we need to break up first before we begin to entertain these. We need to break up first, break the structure to the upside before we begin to entertain the possibility of getting a C here. And any turning or any price action here, we're going to sell. All right, let me stop here.